With the infectious excitement all around me, I headed to YouTube to watch the first teaser of War 2, and guess what I get to see first? I still can't believe that this is the genuine official poster of War 2, a 200 crore project from one of India's biggest production house. It's high time Bollywood filmmakers understood that more is not always more. Style doesn't always mean aesthetics. Although it's too early and a little silly on my part to start commenting on a movie just based on its teaser. But hey, if the makers don't want to budge even after the mistakes they committed in Pathan, then we need to talk about it. My first impression. The teaser presents Junior NTR giving everything that he has to this role. The kind of conviction I must say that I see in his eyes makes one thing very clear. He means business and won't stop at anything in bringing Kabir to his knees. But remember that post-credit scene in Tiger 3? Junior NTR's character is built up to be the devil personified. At least from this teaser standpoint, the makers have clearly failed to translate that same persona onto the screen. The clunky VFX. Speaking of YRF repeating its same mistakes from the past, one thing it got heavily criticized for Pathan was the questionable VFX throughout that film. Remember that first fight sequence between Pathan and Jim, or that mid-air sequence towards the end with those god-awful looking digitally rendered backgrounds? The same kind of digital backgrounds are visible here as well, as Junior NTR is jumping onto a train or when he's shooting at Kabir from a speedboat. When such big production houses are mounting films on such humongous budgets, why are they failing to dedicate the right amount of resources to their VFX? Let me explain. From my experience in the media, I can tell you that while deciding the budget allocation and editing timelines for every movie, every VFX shot is prioritized based on its importance in the narrative. So if you are deciding to use specific shots in your very first teaser, how come are you letting the poorly rendered digital background bring down the entire feel of the teaser? It's high time YRF addressed this issue because all their films are beginning to look the same. The two other major elements that put me off in this teaser were its sets and lighting. It's been almost 2 years since Jawan, and every single big budget movie since then has tried to replicate its yellow, green and red lighting setup. Couple it up with such shots where the constructed sets feel so fake that it brings down the entire aesthetic of the entire scene, robbing it off of any feel of realism. I mean, we just witnessed Mission Impossible, and the audience exposure and expectations are at all-time high right now. The behind-the-scenes bits of Mission Impossible's making and the final presentation on the screen look so goddamn real. But if you tell me ki hey, the Hollywood has the power of dollar on their side, plus the economics allow them their higher budgets, then let's take last year's example of Dharma's own movie Kill. The train set constructed from scratch never ever gave off the feeling of not being a real train. Everything was done with aesthetics in mind within a budget of just 40 crores. Through every shot and its lighting, Kill's makers made every penny count. In comparison, War 2 has been mounted on an incredible budget of 200 crores. But where are the aesthetics? The BGM. I can't exactly call it a mistake, but after War, Pathan and Tiger 3, the Spy Universe's BGM is still so underwhelming. With the likes of Anirudh, GV Prakash, Thaman doing such extraordinary work in the South, the expectations of a solid BGM are quite reasonable from a big budget actioner. I personally love a great hummable BGM that sticks in your mind and you can't help but play it on loop. Take Jailer or Master for example, my two personal favorite BGMs. My concluding thoughts. Let me be real here. Honestly, I have never been a fan of Virus Spy Universe, all because the entire franchise is hanging from a very loose thread, the thread of potential box office mayhem. Yes, this franchise is not driven by strong plots or characters, but potential box office numbers that it can generate. Pathan worked because of SRK's big return, but Tiger 3 had no such element going for it, on top of a clear case of hiring a wrong director for this genre. Now with War 2, Ayan Mukherjee is headed for a litmus test, and whether he passes or fails it depends completely on the story and screenplay. Also, I hope he has paid more attention to the dialogues that he did in Brahmastra, but what actually he has in store for us remains to be seen with its upcoming trailer and the final movie in August. Keeping my fingers crossed.